Oh yeah, 67, 65, and it's only gonna get worse. Yes, sir, I'm beating the brakes off this clown now. Haha, you about to get this work. Man, God, man, my game done froze again. EA need to patch this shit, man, for real, cuz.
A few moments later.
Oh yeah, he lucky the game glitched out because I was about to whoop that. Wait till I see him again. Oh yeah, let's. Oh, okay, so you just gonna run off on the plug, huh? Alright, cool. I got something for that.
12 seconds later.
Oh hell no, if you think you could just run off on the plug like that, you got another thing coming, kid. Press A if you want to. Press A and this is gonna be the end. This is gonna be it. The man that ran off on the plug like that in the preview goes by the name of Jubloo3. He's the monthly ranked number 6 fighter for the month, with a 774 win to only 138 loss record at the time of this fight. And at the current time of me editing this video, he has an impressive record of 1,047 wins to only 169 losses. And as I mentioned in the preview, I was in the middle of beating the brakes off of this number 6 ranked fighter, currently in Fight Night Champion, until the game unfortunately froze on me and locked up. I believe that this is an Xbox 360 emulation issue, as this has been a problem on both my Xbox One and my Xbox Series X. If anyone else has had this same issue, please put that in the comment section, as I'm curious if it's just me having these problems or if there's anyone else. It's one of the unfortunate trade-offs that we have to deal with due to there only being one boxing game that we can play online on mainstream consoles. I would love if EA patched this problem, as Fight Night Champion seriously needs a maintenance update to fix several issues that are currently plaguing the online gameplay experience, like those who have the 0-0 records and the lack of record tracking, which I think is a big deal. But I digress. I ended up taking a loss on this fight, which is out of my control. It is what it is. But that isn't what this episode is about. What this has to do with is the cowardice of this top 10 fighter, as when it was time to run the fair one back like grown men, what this clown did is once he saw my screen name again, he immediately backed out of the matchup screen. Not once, but twice, confirming that he was really running off on the plug. All because he knew deep down that he had absolutely no chance of beating me. But instead of admitting that to me, he came up with this excuse. He accused me of being a sidestep uppercut spammer and used that as the reason as to why he refuses to fight me. This alone speaks to a bigger problem than just ducking me in a match of Fight Night Champion, but this really exposes the mental state of a man who simply doesn't have the mentality of a winner. Because a winner wouldn't complain about what the other person was doing, he would just simply counter it, win the match, and go on about his business. But because he lacks the confidence to win at the highest level, he would rather cherry pick the easiest fights that he can online so that way he can pad his record up. Coward shit at its best. At what point do you stop complaining about the issues of Fight Night Champion and just accept the game for what it is and adapt accordingly? I can tell just by that attitude alone that despite him being a top 10 ranked Fight Night player, he has zero fighting game acumen. If you were playing any traditional fighting game, his ass would get lit up so fast that he wouldn't be able to leave the arcade fast enough without his asshole being on fire. To prove how silly this dude sounds, complaining about the sidestep uppercut in 2022 in an 11-year-old game would be like if someone was playing Street Fighter Alpha 2, right? And they did the VACC to them and they didn't do anything to stop it or counter it. And to add further context to that, The VACC is an infamous maneuver by FGC legend Cali Power, aka Alex Valle, where you activate a custom combo when your opponent is not crouching. During that short time period when the game flashes, the opponent is unable to block low for 10 frames. It definitely was not intended to work like this, but at the time, games couldn't be patched like they are today. So, instead of complaining about it, like the crybabies of today, they just accepted it for what it was and adapted around it. In fact, in the tournament where the VACC was unveiled, another fighting game legend, John Choi, fought Alex Valle in the finals and started doing the VACC to him back during that finals of the biggest FGC tournament in the 90s, Battle by the Bay, which eventually became the Evolution series, which we all know and love as EVO. This, in my opinion, is one of the most impressive on-the-fly adjustments ever in the history of fighting games. How this relates to Fight Night is that we know that the sidestep uppercut is way more effective than it should be and should not be as efficient as it is, as it doesn't really compare to what real boxing is. The sidestep uppercut just would not work as an effective counter-punching tactic in the real sport, in the real sweet science. But in Fight Night, there's ways to counter it. Instead of focusing on those ways to counter, you would just rather cry about it and avoid it, protect your ego. Thus, you're stunning your own growth in this game, which is why I think you don't have what it takes to be an elite esports boxer. As I mentioned earlier, as soon as it was time for you to run the fade on the rematch, you headed for the hills, which meant that you left me no other choice but to log off of that account and go switch to another account. And when I found your sorry ass again, you were happily obliged because you thought you were safe from me. You thought you were safe from that Kazuma Kiryu account, so then you pressed A. But I got news for you. No one is safe from the sniper, and I mean nobody. Another idiotic move by you too is before I switched over to my other account, you basically revealed in the DMs what your main weakness is. Because you said you don't like sidestep uppercuts. So now, after chasing you to the moon for a fight, guess what I'm about to do now that I got you in the ring? I'm gonna abuse the shit of the sidestep uppercut now, just for you. And I'm glad I did that too, because I got exactly what I wanted. Exposing you for being a ducking coward, a scared man who's afraid of a real challenge, and the biggest one of all, I also exposed you to be a liar. At the end of the fight, you tried to accuse me of quitting the match after I was about to get the win. What sense does that make? Why on earth would I quit a match that I was dominating, getting ready to win by knockout, and then all of a sudden I would just go back to the Xbox dashboard? What sense does that make? Especially after you tried to avoid me like the plague. Look at this clip. Let's look at the clip right now. And look at the timing of that rage quit. Does this look like that I backed out of the game at any point? So yeah, you need to stop the cap. The truth is you simply just couldn't handle the pain, power, and pressure that I delivered to your television set. After working so hard to cherry pick the easiest opponents that you could to make yourself feel better at night and to pad your own record, you ran into somebody that wasn't gonna let that shit fly and hold a mirror to you and make you accountable for being a scared little bitch. Jubloo3, there's 2 lessons here that you need to learn from this video. Number 1, despite you being a top 10 player of the month, you'll never be as good as you think you are, because whenever you face someone that gives you real problems and something that you can't counter or don't want to figure out how to counter, you quit. And number 2, don't ever think that you can try and run from me and think that I won't eventually catch you. Whenever I have a sight on target, I never miss. So take my advice seriously, Jubloo3, because you will be getting a DM once this video gets uploaded to YouTube to remind you of what you did in HD and in 4K. Don't ever try to run off on the plug like that again, because when you do,
I'm Joe Tessitore alongside Teddy Atlas. Good evening and welcome to the Mexico City Plaza here in Mexico City for tonight's main event. 10 rounds, middleweights going at it. This should be a really good matchup here tonight. All that energy that we saw, it almost boiled over at the weigh-in yesterday. Now it gets to explode here in the ring. First round underway in this scheduled 10-rounder. What should we see out of the Golden Boy tonight, Teddy?
Well, I think his greatest strength is his body, his size. I mean, he's tall, he's rangy, he has a real good left jab. You know, use those assets. Stand on the outside, let everything start with the jab.
Oscar De La Hoya's opponent tonight has a lot of confidence in his ability to bang. Teddy, what would be your advice to the power puncher opposite the Golden Boy?
Well, first of all, I would tell him you better have a way to land it. Don't go out there just winging, because De La Hoya has been in there with punches before. He'll know how to make you miss. He'll see it coming. Use your jab, set up those shots.
Keep working the jab. Yeah, that's it. Takes one, but gives one. Good work by Oscar De La Hoya. Keep your hands up. Parries that punch intended for the head. Well-placed body shot again. Uppercut! Uppercut! De La Hoya's knowledge of the game is showing through. 3 ways to defend. One of them is to block. He did it there well. Let's see some more head movement. De La Hoya's got something to think about now. He just threw a punch and had one coming right back at him. His opponent scored well with the counter. Keep it tight inside. How about a return to sender with the left hand? Last 10 seconds of this first round.
If you are one of the many who suffered from food poisoning because of contaminated peanut butter, you may be entitled to a cash award.
If you were hospitalized or if someone you know died from contaminated peanut butter, call attorney Jim Adler right now.
If this has happened to you, keep the jar. If you've been hospitalized, you may be entitled to a cash award.
Some Peter Pan and Great Value peanut butter has been recalled. Keep the jar and call attorney Jim Adler now at 713-777-4000.
Here we go. Round 2 is underway. A headshot blocked. Great counter punch. I love how he moved off to the side and then landed it. De La Hoya's putting forth that hard work he did in training camp there, landing a crisp combination. Very clean offense from defense by Roberto Duran. At this stage of a fight, Teddy, these very early moments, how much in your training? That's a big right hand. Scores big with the hook to the head. Big shot he just scored with. Fabulous uppercut, scores the knockdown there.
You know, if I could sum you up in 5 letters, it would be P-U-S-S-Y. Because you're a straight up pussy. You didn't know it, but I saw what you just did on my other account. You saw my Kazuma Kiryu account and you ducked me like a little bitch. Just because you got a little lucky win when the game glitched out and I was whooping your ass in the previous fight. And now you want to try to run and duck me? Well, there ain't no ducking a sniper, you bitch. You gon' get sniped.
And coming upon the halfway mark of this 3-minute round.
There you go.
Blocks the headshot. Oscar lands an uppercut on the inside. Zones in on that overhand right. Well, that was his intention. That's what he's doing. Not engaging in the fight, but clinching. Last 10 seconds.
You're looking good. Looking good.
De La Hoya's corner tried to steady him and give him some sound advice with the 60 seconds they had to work with him. But keep in mind, he was knocked down in that last round.
Well, the most important thing is his experience. Has this happened to him before? Can he justify in his mind that he's overcome it before? Also, his corner. Did they revive him? Did they do their job during that minute rest?
Getting rid of that punch from his opponent. Well blocked by Roberto Duran. Roberto Duran's showing you that sublime skill right now with that two-punch combo.
Hey, let's go.
Oh, good defense there. That was a fine block by Roberto Duran. Halfway through this round here. Roberto Duran's hit by a big left hand. Boy, I know he's not in great shape, but all of a sudden he's doing a very good job of defending himself.
You know, it's a funny thing. He's fighting on instincts, and sometimes that's a good thing. You don't want to get hurt to get there, but you want to get there. Right now, he's doing things without thinking, naturally.
De La Hoya's defense is now serving him well. Nice job blocking that punch. Good block by Duran. Right on the mark with the hook up top. Super two-punch combo by Roberto Duran. And that does it for this round. Having put his opponent down on the canvas, he's already easily taken the first 3 rounds of this fight.
Well, it has been easy for him because his opponent has no defense. He just walks in and he's eating punches.
De La Hoya's lacking that jab there. He just hasn't committed to throwing it at all.
I mean, that's the most basic thing in the world is to use that jab. That jab does so many things for you. Keeps the guy defensive, and obviously it sets up your offense.
Able to counter that attack.
Get back off the rope. Keep working the bud.
Reaching the halfway mark of this round. job zoning in on that body with the left hook. Even better job bringing the right hand in combination. And
Cards. They're letting everything go in every punch.
the Golden Boy blocks that punch.
Yeah, good work.
Roberto Duran blocks that. On the mark with the straight left hand.
Move your head.
Keeping his hands up, getting rid of his opponent's offense. Duran's really impressing us here. Defensively impressing us. I mean, it's so easy to say, wow, look at the punching, look at the power. But, Teddy, you got to appreciate what he's doing with defense.
Yeah, well, that's one of the reasons why you could say that you appreciate, you know, the aggression or the power and all these things. He can afford to be aggressive because he doesn't get hit.
Just like that, just like that.
What a great job. He gave one right back in return. Nice work by Roberto Duran.
Keep that hand moving. Looking good.
Final 10 seconds of this fifth round. Easy to see. The start of the sixth round. Roberto Duran's out there for another round in a fight that he's been in complete control of so far. That's great stuff. He fires one right back after taking one. Gotta love the work by Oscar De La Hoya. Roberto Duran did a good job defensively here. Teddy, what is that, a credit to his ability to anticipate?
You know, also, it's the teaching. Let's give the trainers credit because let's give his background of the amateurs credit, but he learned how to get away from punches. This is technique that was taught to him.
Nice strike after catching one by Oscar De La Hoya.
That's it.
Halfway through round six. He got hit right there, but he also gave one. Solid effort by Roberto Duran.
In and out, in and out.
Working our way towards the bell. Last 10 seconds of the sixth.
You better look out, punk!
So he put... Back to action now. We're underway in what has been a completely one-sided fight. You get the sense this one may not go the distance. How about that left right there? Able to block that away. It was targeted for his... Wow! Once again, he goes down. Can he survive this?
Did you hear what the Fight Night Lord and Savior Joe Tessitore just told you? That this fight is not going to last the distance. You know, I understand now why you tried to take your little cheap win and tried to run off on the plug. Because when you see my name, you saw fear. You knew that this was gonna happen. You knew that you were gonna get your chin checked just like this. And just to protect your little top 100 record, you want to try to run off and avoid this ass whooping. There ain't no avoiding it, bitch. Get the fuck up.
De La Hoya's showing you what he is made of, picking up the ball on canvas after being knocked down.
You're not focusing.
Duran's defense did a good job there, able to avoid that punch.
Relax.
De La Hoya is putting forth a great combination there. De La Hoya's hit by a counter punch there. Duran's been able to avoid having any of his opponent's headshots landing flush.
And what his opponent has to do is make an adjustment. Well, we used to tell the fighters, when a guy's elusive like this fighter is right now, you have to shorten your punches up. Shorten them up a little bit, have less space to travel. They have a better chance of getting to that elusive target.
And now the ref gets involved and warns him for headbutting. And he engages in the clinch.
Move your head.
Accurate shot, straight right hand comes in. Duran, what an uppercut!
You're still not moving it out. Move.
That's a razor-sharp uppercut by Roberto Duran. 10 seconds to go in the seventh. This has been a clinic, an absolute clinic. Roberto Duran's doing anything he wants in this fight. Your scorecard reads it that way.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised if the other corner stops the fight.
Keep your head moved.
He's showing very good footwork. He's showing fine. And yet another big shot comes in. Wow, he goes down.
Yeah, did you feel that, pussy? Did you feel that? Because what you just felt was what I call the left hook of death. And I think that's the best thing for you, because then at least you won't be able to hear me getting on the microphone telling you how bad you suck at this game, telling you that you made a fucking mistake when you tried to run off and didn't think that I was not going to get my win back, especially after you didn't deserve it. You got that other win off a technicality and you want to run away like a little bitch? Get up, bitch. It's not over. I'm not done with you yet. It's time for you to get executed. See, I forgot to formally introduce myself. My name is LX Sniper. And what I'm here to do is I'm here to crush people's egos. Egos like yours. Who's so scared to take a loss in a fucking video game. Who thinks that a video game is his life and is going to do everything to protect it, including running off against good opponents. You're scared of a challenge, and just like that, you're scared to take an L. Like a man. So we're just exactly where I thought we would be. You on the Xbox dashboard. Yep. Top 10 fighter, top 5 fighter in the game. Xbox dashboarding like the rest of the top 100. And this is exactly what I mean when I say I'm going to clean up the top 100 easily. 100 times over. 100-0 is going to happen. And there's none of you ingrates or none of you peons are going to be able to do to stop it. Jubloo3, I want you to think twice now about what you're doing whenever someone's not looking. Because I'm always lurking in the shadows. Okay? because now you have to deal with your ego being shattered right in front of me, by me, and broadcasted in front of thousands. My reign of terror is just getting started, folks. 100-0 against the top 100, and then in any other future boxing games, I'm gonna go 100-0 there too. You can't stop what's inevitable. I'm a motherfucking thug.